Today we're going to be going over the RTI and the referral process. So RTI means response to intervention. It is a multi-step process that is done to identify learning or even behavioral issues of a student. And it is also broken into 3 tiers. The first steps to RTI. The first step is to identify the problem. As teachers, we must ask ourselves, what is the discrepancy between what the child is doing and what they're supposed to be doing? Sometimes this can be the hardest reason to find what the problem is. Step 2, problem analysis. Why is the problem occurring? This one seems to be a little tricky because there's a variation of problems that can occur from home life to in-school issues, but that is what the RTI steps are for. The third step is the plan of development. What is the goal? What is the intervention goal supposed to achieve? And what is how will the progress be monitored? These are all things that need to be taken into consideration in the planning process. RTI steps continued. So the fourth step is the plan implementation. This means that we need to know how we will execute the plan. And then the fifth step is the evaluation. Is said plan effective for the student? These 5 steps are the reason we use RTI and how it can help us identify students' behavioral issues and their learning disabilities. The 3 tiers. So there are 3 tiers to the RTI. It is the first tier, which is universal screening and benchmarking of all students. Tier 2, identifying specific strengths and weaknesses and continued progress monitoring. And Tier 3, diagnose testing and intensive progress monitoring. So we're going to go into a more in-depth of the 3 tiers. This one is going to show, this map shows us the increasing intensity. So the highest intensity for intervention is Tier 3, and the decreasing number of students is in Tier 3 as well. So there are more students that are included in Tier 1. That's about 90% of the students. It's need-based learning. So some of the resources that we can see for Tier 1 is school psychology, social teams, school screening, hearing and vision screening. These can all help us understand lower level disabilities such as hearing problems or visual problems or even just psychological problems from home. Tier 2 is going to be a little less amount of students, probably about 15% of students. And this is going to be about targeting students who participate in differentiated learning. So the resources for this one are going to be the same as prior, just a little more specific to the issues like data-driven instruction, more frequent progress monitoring, and alternative schooling. And then the third tier is going to be our smallest percentage. It's going to be about 5%. And then that's going to be specifically designed learning. The students will have accommodations, modifications through SPED, IEP, gifted plan, or ESOL. So this is just, it really gets specific once they get to Tier 3. Either they have a higher learning level or even a lower one. So then we're going to go on to the referral process. The referral process is broken up into these steps: screening, response to intervention. These are the pre-referral processes. And then we get to the referral process, which is write letters for services, review of existing evaluation data, parental consent, and evaluation. And then the steps to the referral process include Step 1, which is referral for special education programs. This follows the intervention and the student continues to struggle in class. So this means this child is still struggling after the intervention was in place. Step 2 is special education evaluation. This is where IDEA comes in, IDEA, and they give non-discriminatory tests so that we can get the students standing without biases such as race or language barriers. And then Step 3 is eligibility. This is if a student is considered special needs, then they receive FAPE, and this is free appropriate education. This is because students deserve education whether they are special needs or not. They deserve to have it for free, and that this is a new policy that's been in place. And so this is the end of the referral process. Thank you for listening.